Hello students, welcome to Meso Study again. In the today's session, we will be discussing about certain questions which are important for your CBSE. And these are the questions which I have taken in today's session. They are from your previous year exams, previous year CBSE exam. Now let's move forward as we are discussing about the chapter Anatomy of Flowering Plants. Let's start with the question number 1. Question number 1 is of 1 mark. Question number 1 states, name the tissue represented by the jute fiber used for making ropes. We all know ropes are made up of, it's a very direct question, that is of a sclerenchymatous tissue. Or it is made up of sclerenchymatous tissue, or you can call it as they are made up of a sclerenchyma, right? This was the first question. Now let's move towards the next question. Now second question indicate which kind of tools have a polyarc vascular bundles. Polyarc, first of all, tell me what is a vascular bundles? Vascular bundles are those in which there is an arrangement of both xylem and phloem. There is a xylem and phloem present. Polyarc means many vascular bundles, they are arranged. Many vascular bundles, they are very beautifully arranged within the pith. And such type of condition is seen in case of root, and the answer is in case of monocot root. In case of monocot root. Right, students? So the correct option for the question number 2 is a monocot root or monocotyledonal root. Let's move towards the next question. Hope you have noted down this. What is a heartwood? Heartwood is that wood in which the xylem is present. A hard wood is that. So, made up of large number of xylem vessels. Made up of large number of xylem vessel, dark in color it is, that is called as a heartwood. And wood or heartwood that developed during the secondary development. We have studied about these wood, how the secondary development happens. We have already studied the same in detail, right? Hope you can write. Now let's move forward with next question, that is a question number 4. This question is from a next category, that is of a 2 marks. So you have to explain the same in bit of detail. Give any 4 difference between a tracheids and a vessel. Now let's write about tracheids. And second, we have to explain regarding the vessels. First of all, tracheids, they are unicellular structure or they are made up of single cell. So can I call it as a unicellular? They are unicellular, right? To talk about the vessels, vessels are multicellular. So can I say they are multicellular? This is the first difference between a tracheid and the vessels. Another difference between the tracheid and the vessel is that in case of tracheids, the lumen is very high or large lumen. Central lumen is narrow in this case, is narrow. Whereas in this case, the central lumen is wide. Right? Tracheids are found in all vascular plants. whereas vessels are present only in case of angiosperm. Now, let's talk about tracheids. In case of tracheids, let's talk about the end wall. So when we talk about the tracheids, have pointed end. Whereas in case of the vessels, the end wall are absent. Right. These are basically shorter, these are basically large, and they are dead at maturity. They are shorter but dead at maturity. Whereas these are very big and they are also dead at maturity. They are also dead at maturity, right? So this is the difference between a tracheid and the vessels. Tracheid is a unicellular structure, whereas a vessel is a multicellular structure. In case of the tracheid, the central lumen which is present, that is narrow, whereas in case of the vessel, the central lumen is wide. It is found in all vascular plant, whereas these are found only in flowering plant, that is angiosperm. Tracheids have a pointed end towards the end wall. When we will see, they are having a pointed end. Whereas in this case, the end wall which is present towards the end, that is absent. They are shorter but dead at maturity. They are very big and they are also dead at maturity. So this was the fourth question. Note down this, then we will proceed further. So students, hope you have noted down about this question number 4. Let's move on to the next question. That is a question number 5. This question number 5 is also from the same category, that is a 2 marks. So the question says we have to distinguish between a collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Collenchyma cells, these are living cells. They are living cells and they have protoplasm present. They have protoplasm present. Whereas in case of the sclerenchyma, they are dead mechanical tissues. Right. To talk more about the collenchyma and the sclerenchyma, in this the water content is very high. And in case of the sclerenchyma, water content is low. Right. In this case, the central lumen, that is very large. In this case, the narrow central lumen is there. These are the difference between a collenchyma and the sclerenchyma. You can write more because we have discussed in a very descriptive way in the sessions. But this is just an introduction. So you have to write a distinguish, but it is of a 2 marks, so 2 points they are enough. But still I have given you the 3 points. Let's move forward. with the next question. Next question is also a distinguish. Why I have chosen only the distinguish? The reason is that within a one question you can understand about the two different type of tissues. Now first says we have to differentiate between a xylem and second is a phloem. Right? Xylem and phloem. Xylem, what is the function of xylem? First of all, whenever they combine together, what they form is a vascular bundles. What they form, students? Vascular bundles. They form vascular bundles, right? Sometimes they do have a cambium present in them, sometimes they do not have a cambium present in them. To talk about a xylem, first of all tell me what is the function of xylem. Function of xylem is the conduction of water. Conduction of water. Whereas the phloem function is the conduction of food. Conduction of food. Right? In case of xylem, xylem is further made up of different cells because these are the complex tissues. They are further made up of different cells. They are made up of tracheids, vessels, fibers and parenchyma. Whereas the phloem is further made up of phloem fibers, some companion cells are there, companion cell, they have a phloem fiber, they have is of parenchyma cells, they or last but very important is the presence of sieve tube. Out of all of these, only the phloem fiber in this case that is dead. Whereas in this case, this is the only one which is living. Rest all are dead. Whereas these are living. This is also living. Right? They are present in bulk, they are present in small quantity. Right. This is the difference between a xylem and the phloem. Xylem help in the conduction of water, whereas a phloem help in conduction of food. Xylem is a complex tissue because it is made up of further different type of cells. Tracheids are there, the vessels are there, fibers and the parenchyma is there. Out of which the tracheids, vessels and the fibers, they are dead, whereas the parenchyma is living. They are present in a bulk amount, whereas phloem is made up of different cells, companion cells, phloem fiber, phloem parenchyma and the very important that is a sieve tube which help in conduction. Next, they are present in a very small number. So this is the question number 6. Now we have discussed the two category of question. The first is a 1 mark and second is a 2 mark question. Let's move forward, and now we have is another category that is of a 3 marks. So 3 marks question. So as it is of a 3 marks, so you have to answer in bit of detail. Wheresoever diagram is there, you should draw a diagram as well. Now what are sieve elements? Now tell me one thing, where these sieve elements are present. Is it a type of phloem or is it a type of a xylem? It is a type of phloem. Form phloem. If it is a phloem, definitely what is a function of it? That is a conduction of food. Conduction of food. Hope you are getting what I am trying to say. Now, to talk about the sieve element, they are further made up of two type of structures. One is called as a sieve cells, and they further form sieve fibers. Let's talk about these sieve elements. In the case of the sieve element, when we see the sieve cells, these sieve cells, they are arranged one above the another and they form a fiber or a vessel like structure, which is also called as a sieve vessels. Right? These sieve cells doesn't have nucleus, first of all. Doesn't have nucleus. But still they are considered as a living. Why? Just because they are associated with companion cells, and these companion cells, they have a nucleus, and that nucleus which is present in the companion cells, they guard the division as well as the various activities of the sieve cells. Now, to talk about the structure in this, the large vacuole is present. Large vacuole is present. Peripheral dense cytoplasm is present. Dense cytoplasm is present in this case. Right? Now, they are associated with companion cells. Whereas to talk about the fibers and the vessels, sieve cells arrange one above another and form vessel. What is the function of vessel? That is a conduction of the food from one place to another. Here the conduction of food occur from two regions, that is help in conduction of food from source to sink. What is a source? Food is prepared in the green part of a plant, that is in a leaf. Whereas a sink is that region where food is utilized, right, where the respiration is happening. So in this you have to explain about the sieve cells and the sieve vessels. Now, this whole explanation is incomplete. We have studied with the help of a diagram. So in this case you have to draw a diagram as well. This is how the sieve cells, they are arranged one above the another. One more thing that I would like to discuss, here the end wall is perforated. This is what, let's write here only, end wall is perforated. And what is the function of this perforation? So that a continuous channel will be formed for the proper conduction of food from one place to another. That end wall which is perforated, that is also called as a sieve plate. So in this case the structure is like this, and this is called as a sieve plate. This is called as a sieve plate, right? In the center you can see a cells, empty space is present which is called as a vacuole, characteristic feature. And also you can see some cells, they are present like this. They are called as a companion cells. Companion cells. In this outermost you can see a cytoplasm is filled. So this is a cytoplasm. Sieve plate is there, vacuole is there, these are the companion cells. So companion cells, these are the nucleus which is present in the companion cell with which it guards the activity of these sieve tube cells. So this is a sieve cells. This is a sieve cells. So this is a structure of these sieve tubes, cells arranged one above another and they form a vessel-like structure. So this was a question number 7. Let's move forward with the next question. Now this is also a question from a same category. Hope you have noted down this. State the location and function of different type of meristem. Now, what is a meristem? Meristem are made up of which type of tissue? Meristematic tissue. In the session, we have discussed about the different type of meristematic tissue that you have to explain over here. First of all, give a definition of meristematic tissue. Rapidly dividing cells are there. Unspecialized cells are there. Meristematic tissues are of 3 types that we have studied in session. One is called as a apical meristem. Second is called as a intercalary meristem. And the third one is called as a lateral meristem. Now, what is an apical meristem? Apical meristem is that meristem which is present at the apex of root and shoot. I am not writing in detail, but hope you remember those sessions when I have discussed about the meristematic tissue. Present at apex of roots and shoots, and they are responsible for increasing the length of plant. Whenever these cells divide, the length of plant is increased. Apical meristem. After that, we have is an intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem is that meristem which is present in between permanent tissue. And they are also present at the base of internode. Right. And intercalary meristem also help in increasing the length of a plant. Intercalary meristem. Right. Now, let's explain about the lateral meristem. Lateral meristem is present towards the end, towards the outer wall. And these meristem, whenever they divide, they increases the girth of a plant. Present towards outer side and help in secondary growth. And overall what they do? Increases girth of a plant. This is what you have to explain in intercalary meristem. And even you have to draw the diagram as well. I have drawn the diagram in the sessions. Do make the diagram if such type of question comes. So this is a type of meristem, apical, intercalary and the lateral meristem. This was a question number 8. Let's see a next question. This question is from another different category. So this is a 5-mark question. Describe the internal structure of a monocot root with the help of labeled diagram. Very good question. Very direct as well. We have discussed the same in detail, but when such type of question comes, you have to first of all explain regarding the monocot stem and also draw a well labeled neat diagram and make that diagram with the help of pencil. Now, to talk about the roots. In case of roots, the unicellular root hairs, they are present. These are called as a unicellular root hairs. I am explaining only with the help of a diagram, but in the diagram I will explain each and every point. Root hairs. After that, the epidermal cells, they are present, which is called as a epiblemma. Epiblemma. After that, a well developed cortex cells, they are present. Cortex cells. Now, below this, we know the next layer that is present is called as a endodermis. Endodermis in later stages, they develop Casparian strips. So, this is a endodermis. Below endodermis, another layer is present, which we call it as a pericycle. Right. After that, the vascular bundles which is present in this case, they are of exarch type. Polyarch condition is seen. This is how you have to make the hole. In the center, pith is present. Pith cells, they are present. Towards this side, you can see another type of cells, they are present, which we call it as a phloem, which help in conduction of food. Right. This is called as a phloem. This is called as a pith. A well developed pith is present in this case. This as a whole is called as a xylem, and this is called as a protoxylem. Whereas in the towards the centermost region we have is a metaxylem present. Metaxylem present. Right? This is the overall structure of a monocot root. This is how the monocot root look like. One more thing in this case, polyarc condition is there. Polyarc condition is there, and vascular bundles, they are vascular bundles, it is of exarch type. So you have to explain about each of these things separately, right? First of all, draw this diagram, then we will move forward. So students, hope you have noted down this. Now let's talk about the next question, the last question of today's session, that is internal structure of a dicot root. If such type of question come, then you have to explain about the dicot leaf. Sorry, the question is regarding the dicot leaf. So in this leaf, first of all, to talk about these leaves, the two layers, first of all the two layers, they are present. Outer epidermis, it is present towards both the side, towards upper side as well as a lower side. The vascular bundle which is present in this case, that is of a collateral and closed type. Now let's see the internal structure of these cells. This is how the cells are arranged, and you can see above which the cuticle is present. This is a cuticle. Cuticle is present, right? This is called as a upper epidermis. Upper epidermis, right? Whereas towards the lower side also, epidermis layer is present, and you know stomata is present. This is called as a stoma. They also have a cuticle present, right? In this case, the parenchyma cells are present. Parenchyma which is present towards the upper side, they are called as a palisade parenchyma. They are called as a palisade parenchyma. Right? Also, they have another type of cells present which we call it as a spongy parenchyma. Spongy parenchyma, they are having a space present in them. They do have an air cavity present. The bundle sheath is present like this. In this, the different cells are present. Some are xylem and the phloem. These are called as a xylem. This is in this called as a phloem. This is called as a bundle sheath. Bundle sheath. Called as a bundle sheath. This is a palisade parenchyma. Parenchyma cells, they are arranged like this. Right? You have to make the diagram. I have made the diagram, a neat and clean diagram in the sessions. You have to make the same diagram over here as well. So they are called as a spongy parenchyma. This is called as a air cavity present. Right? Two epidermis, upper epidermis, and this one is called as a lower epidermis is present. So this is a structure of a dicot leaf. Hope the things are clear to you, but this is not enough. You have to write about each and every structure like I have explained in the sessions. If you don't remember that, go back to the session, watch that again, because this is just an introduction to tell you what you have to write in such type of question. So we'll meet you in the next class when we'll discuss about a new chapter. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you so much students for watching this.